speed gaming, Feasel, and everyone here appreciates it. But yeah, I see Gameaholic in the chat asking the real questions: which of these two am I going to play against next? And that is what this match is all about. Gameaholic, as the only remaining participating 0x player, will be playing the loser of this matchup, unless something very, very bizarre happens. And that'll be another must-watch next week. Gameaholic, also one of our newer runners in the tournament. And the winner, I believe, if all of the math I did is correct, and it usually isn't, will probably be playing Stump. But that is my best guess. But both runners making it through roughly in sync here to their first Ridley fight. This is a regular-sized boss. We'll be seeing all of the regular-sized bosses in this category today, GT Classic. But yeah, the highly improbable scenarios being things like ties or me screwing up the math. Neither of those things ever happens. And SuperNinTaylor completing or having an available challenge for Serious Escape. I don't know what that's going to get him, but hope he's able to escape and complete his challenge. Toastymuffins with a third of a room lead here into the last room, but decides to go for a left wall climb here, letting SuperNinTaylor make up a little bit of time. SuperNinTaylor with a, what was that, a 42.89 or something? I didn't catch the times there, and Toastymuffins with a high 39. Pretty much in sync here on their way out of Serious Station. Toastymuffins has gone with the time-saving Japanese text that doesn't actually save any time, only adds some number of characters to the screen that some of you may be able to read, but I can't. And so, for anyone not very familiar with GT Classic, category that plays out a lot like any percent, in that the runners are going to collect as many items as they feel like they need, and they're going to go beat all of the bosses. But that's pretty much where the similarities end. The runners are able to, in this category, utilize, and Toastymuffins utilizing Moonfall there, getting a couple seconds there with a fast fall through the climb. SuperNinTaylor, appropriate fall speed. But we'll see the runners get what they need to go down and get to Gold Chorizo so they can use the so-called GT code. And that will give them 53% of the items, and exactly 700 health, really oddly. But they will receive a bunch of items, and then it's just a boss rush from that point. Or, I believe, as Ancient Gamer has termed it, a boss bash, which is almost more appropriate because the runners will get a lot of overpowered gear and will basically have the 100% movement to items and ammo set. And so they'll be able to just blaze through the rest of this game. The trick is, of course, getting to Gold Chorizo. And so that involves both a lava dive and a green gate glitch. And so either of those could be potential reset points. And so we'll see if those tricks hang up either of the runners. So far, Toastymuffins, the first person on his elevator back to Criteria from Blue Brinstar, but SuperNinTaylor less than an elevator ride behind. This should be a really, really close match. The first big differentiator here in the run may come with the climb. And so this, especially for newer players, but also for experienced players, one of the most technical movement sections in the game, and just happens to come at the beginning of the run. And so we see Toastymuffins opting for sort of a platform climb here and making it through pretty cleanly, shooting out some of those space pirates. SuperNinTaylor going for the right side wall climb, falling down a little bit, but mostly doing a very nice job getting his wall jumps moving up through the climb. Toastymuffins is going to be the first one over here to bomb Chorizo, but I expect SuperNinTaylor to be not that far behind. And SuperNinTaylor's on the last section of this climb. Toastymuffins showing the hype there of getting bombs. Something very excited popped up on screen. I'm not sure what that was. I think it was safe for speed gaming though, so that's okay. SuperNinTaylor having a little bit of trouble with this climb, but making it up, and there he is on the last platform and made his way into Parlor. That room is not easy. And Toastymuffins, a little bit of trouble with BT there, but finishing up, hopefully he gets some good missile drops, and he has enough missiles, so full health, full ammo. We'll have a little bit of a high five here, probably roughly in this door transition, and there it is. Nice high five between Toastymuffins and SuperNinTaylor. We'll see if Toastymuffins decides to go for Alcatraz. Looks like it. SuperNinTaylor getting his bombs, and Toastymuffins is continuing with Alcatraz. This another one of those early game tricks that just can be a real nightmare for newer players. Saves about 8 seconds. So for Toastymuffins, they're getting it, I think, on the 4th or 5th try. Probably a small time loss over actually bombing out the blocks, but overall pretty clean, pretty close to time neutral. And SuperNinTaylor counting his shots carefully, managing bomb Chorizo, keeping that last cutscene away, and ensuring good missile drops from keeping his health full, is going to be on his way back out. We'll see if he chooses to go for Alcatraz or not. And looks like it. And one try. Alright, and getting it there on the first try. Also a little bit of a time save there. As Toastymuffins gets to sort of the first necessary trick for this speed run. The early supers mock ball and nailing it on the first try, getting his early super missiles. We'll see how that goes for SuperNinTaylor. Something I like from SuperNinTaylor here, we're seeing that for this category he is shooting the space pirates on his way down into Green Brinstar, keeping his health full, and entering with 1 missile, so we'll see what strategy he uses to farm here to get back up to 5 missiles for the early supers. And Toastymuffins making his way over into Big Pink. We'll see, he's not going to go up and fight Spore Spawn. He's already got super missiles, so generally here you see runners skip the charge missiles and charge beam. We'll see if he chooses to get him. SuperNinTaylor looking like he's getting a little hung up there, missing the mock ball, choosing to grab some missiles. He's going to have to reset the room because that gate's down. And I think he was thinking about whether he could get that backup mock ball, the mini mock from on the bridge, but that gate is down, so he's going to have to reset the room. It's a cool setup here, actually, that he's going for, but I don't know if it actually works. I've definitely never seen that one. So he's going to reset the room here as Toastymuffins starts to make his way up Red Tower, and oh, unfortunately, SuperNinTaylor falling through again. And Red Tower, another one of those tricks that can really challenge any player, and Toastymuffins doing a really good job choosing to murder a couple of the Ninja Turtles to make it just a little bit easier. Still pretty tricky in the wall jumps that you need to do to get back up there. and SuperNinTaylor getting his early super missiles as Toastymuffins is headed over to Alpha Power Bombs. I see from Voolagin in the chat, are both these runners comparatively newer? And the answer is absolutely. SuperNinTaylor started speedrunning Super Metroid about a week before the tournament, if that. Decided to challenge himself and see if he could do it. And so far has done excellently. I know he'd done his sort of vanilla Super Metroid casual playthrough, I think in December. Toastymuffins, I don't have all of that information, but I know he is also a newer player. He was my round 1 opponent, and in chatting with him before our match, he'd mentioned things like he had not yet learned Lava Dive, for instance, and so both of these guys have really taken on a huge challenge in learning 5 categories for this tournament. I know a lot of more experienced Super Metroid players declined to enter this tournament based on the difficulty of just needing to be able to do 5 categories, and each of them having their own nuances, and all of the routing information involved. And so props to everybody who entered this tournament, especially the newer runners. And SuperNinTaylor has made his way up Red Tower. Toastymuffins setting up for his crate entry and getting the nice entry there for the wall jump. Pretty quick crate entry. And we'll see if SuperNinTaylor can get the D-boost to Alpha Power Bombs. Avoiding the slugs, doing a good job there. Choosing to farm that one. If you don't have Power Bombs, I think you're most likely to get small health from them. But that 5 health can make a difference. And Toastymuffins dodging the mini Kraid spikes very well, and SuperNinTaylor getting the reverse D-boost out of Alpha Power Bombs. Really nicely done by both runners. See what sort of quick kill Toastymuffins sets up for if he decides to go for a chargeless 2 missile 3 super or a 4 super quick kill here. Looks like he's setting up for a 2 missile quick kill attempt. This can be a tricky quick kill to get without charge beam. Oh, and unfortunately, shooting that first shot just a little too high, and possibly a little too late. And then that second one striking Kraid when his mouth was too far open, gonna ensure that Kraid stands up. He's gonna have to be pretty careful here. And, ooh, nailing both of those supers there on that cycle. A nice backup and pretty good Kraid drops for Toastymuffins. SuperNinTaylor going to the Sloater's refill, rather than choosing to farm all the way up on Hellway. Sloater's, of course, our tournament's #1 seed, who was able to choose a room to be named after himself in honor of his high SRL points, choosing that very health refill station. So for anyone not familiar with the rules of GT Classic, the rules are complete the game, not utilizing any major glitches outside of whether you consider a major glitch or a debug code or whatever. The GT code that was possibly inadvertently left in by the developers of the game that gives you a bunch of gear when you get to Gold Terizo's room. And so you're able to utilize that to get a bunch of items more quickly than you normally would, and then just beat the game as quickly as possible. And another high five there between Toastymuffins on the way out of Kraid's lair and SuperNinTaylor on his way in. And Toastymuffins, we're going to see him go down into Upper Norfair. He's going to get high jump boots and an E-tank. And then what he's got, we're going to see him save at Bubble Mountain. and then head for his lava dive, and that and green gate glitch will be the big deciders, I think, in this race. Plus, then it's movement and execution from that point. But yes, neither of the runners knew that they would be running GT Classic until 5 minutes before the run or fewer. And SuperNinTaylor with a very nice 4 super Kraid quick kill chargeless, getting his Various suit. That was a very nice strat there. Yeah, so, Antinomy in the chat, can't wait for the Fantoon skip, but Fantoon skip isn't actually something you can do in this category. Some have tried, but none have succeeded. You have to beat all 4 of the G4 bosses. Toastymuffins making his way over to Bubble Mountain. I expect to see a save here, and then heading straight down for Lava Dive. And SuperNinTaylor also getting the Kraid E-Tank. Good call. It's an optional E-Tank in this category, but the extra safety for the Lava Dive, and I guess the Ripper room leading over to GT's room. A very useful safety. Really something that you'll see a lot of runners do in a race situation. So what we see Toastymuffins doing there is farming up so that he has full super missiles. That's the most important thing, and full health, I suppose, as well. So that when he gets to Lower Norfair after this hopefully successful lava dive attempt, we'll see him have 5 attempts at Green Gate Glitch. But I also would expect him to save at the top of the Lower Norfair elevator so that he'll be able to give that another try. And so Toastymuffins a little late on that unmorph. I think the Namahe flames ended up in a weird spot, but oh, a little high on the wall jump off of the second left Namahe's face and getting sniped by the flame from that gatekeeper Namahe. And yeah, taking a lava dive death, that is something that we may see a couple times. It's not a free trick. Everything in this game is free, but you have to earn everything. It's kind of crazy. So this will give SuperNinTaylor a little bit of an opportunity to make up some time here. And so we're going to see Toastymuffins run back that same thing that we just saw. We're going to see the farm here, farming up to full health and full ammo, and giving it another go. That's why that Bubble Mountain safety save is utilized. And pretty good Zeb drops there from Toastymuffins. Nice RNG, got his ammo filled back up pretty quickly. And SuperNinTaylor making his way through, I believe this room is Rising Tides. And making his way over to Bubble Mountain. I think we'll see him safety save right here as well. And depending on how this lava dive attempt goes, we could be in a virtual tie at this point. And Toastymuffins, okay, letting go of jump at a good time, and ooh, making it through. That is a nice, successful lava dive there from Toastymuffins. It always throws me off a little bit when I land on that platform rather than having to wall jump off of it. But he adjusted very well and is through to his second safety save. And SuperNinTaylor, but screens behind at this point, farming up, getting a little screwed by these Zebs here. Pretty bad RNG on these super drops. He's gonna want to wait till 5, and there he's full. So the Zebs have nothing more to give, kind of killing a few more Zebs out of spite, and setting up for his lava dive. SuperNinTaylor about to go for the lava dive as Toasty is setting up for a green gate glitch and nailing it first try. Hot damn. Well done, Toastymuffins. SuperNinTaylor, oh, break and spin there, but had a nice wall jump. I think he has time for one more quick attempt, and I think that window's closed, but he's... Oh, he might be able to... Oh, wow! Wow! Like I said, both of these runners, new, but showing off a ton of skill. Toastymuffins getting his green gate glitch, and getting his GT code. SuperNinTaylor is going to need to be careful here with his health through this room. If I'm SuperNinTaylor, I don't know if he's going to choose to do this. I would powerbomb the Rippers out before firing off any supers to try and get some big health drops, so that A, the Rippers won't knock you into the acid and kill you, and B, you'll have a little bit more health to safely make it through that room. But oh, he got small health there because of the enforced health drop from the Violas, so no power bombs. SuperNinTaylor, a bit of a savant here at gate glitches. Very meticulous in his setups, but... and I'm risking commentator cursing here, I see. But, yeah, unfortunately not working out. But I've yet to see him miss one. And so, oh, a nice call from him. Rather than resetting, choosing to kill himself on the Violas, acknowledging his low health. But now each runner with a reset of sorts. So we'll see SuperNinTaylor, hopefully, bless RNG, get his green gate glitch on this second attempt. As Toastymuffins makes his way down to Ridley, doing bosses in a not so intended order, but doing them in the most efficient order at this point, doing the create a Ridley Dragon Fantoon plan for completing the game. And we saw Toastymuffins activating his X-ray scope. The runners do have X-ray and grapple. And SuperNinTaylor making a good call, getting his green gate glitch, and choosing to powerbomb out those Rippers, getting some extra health and eliminating the threat. So we should see him go through, get his GT code here. Do not get screw attack. Okay, there we go. And we're through and in good shape. And so spays are off, because if he fires a shot there, it would crash the game. And now it's just a race. SuperNinTaylor spotted Toastymuffins a couple minutes here, but this should be a fun one. Now, at this point, it's an actual race. It was not a race until now. But at this point, it's really pure execution between the two runners. And SuperNinTaylor going for the Spark Escape after getting Screw Attack. A nice short charge there. And a nice Ridley fight there from Toastymuffins, choosing to use some of his supers to supplement the damage from his charge Ice Wave plasma shots. And it looks like SuperNinTaylor's setting up for fast pillars here. Wow! A nice fast pillars there from SuperNinTaylor. So we should have an... There's potential we'll get another high five, actually. I'm not sure. SuperNinTaylor X-raying, as I was mentioning from Toastymuffins, also activating the X-ray. X-raying the Space Pirate there. The icons for X-ray and grapple do not appear on the player's HUD at the top of the screen, but they do have those items. They just... The game doesn't acknowledge that they have them unless they actually go and pick them up. You can just menu to them, and so that makes menuing in GT Classic a little more awkward than in most other categories. And yeah, SuperNinTaylor narrowly missing that high five, having a little bit of trouble there in Amphitheater, but has made it through, and choosing to take the safety save here before Ridley. Not a bad call. Ridley's a fight that can go south pretty fast, and with only 4.5 E-tanks plus his reserves, don't want to take any chances. And Toastymuffins showcasing the value of getting screw attack on your way out of GT. Really makes especially lower Norfair a lot easier. If the runners had gotten screw attack prior to activating the GT code, they would actually lose screw attack for the rest of the game. The GT code gives them an item set that does not include screw attack, and because it would no longer be there at the Chozo statue outside of GT's room, the runner would just be stuck without screw attack for the rest of the game. And I've done this in a GT Classic run, and I tried to keep it going, but it was a reset. I was, another 2 minutes. I lost 2 minutes on the way to Ridley, I think. It was very bad. So you never want to do that. I see Death Rain asking, how did they get everything? This is GT Classic as a category, and so the runners are doing basically an any % run, but they're utilizing what's called the GT code, or Gold Terizo code. And so by entering Gold Terizo's room while Gold Terizo's still alive, I think it's the 16th frame of the door transition animation. I'm not certain about that, but basically they hold all 4 face buttons, X, A, B, and Y, during the door transition. And if they're holding it on the correct frame, the game will give them this sort of debug mode where it gives them 700 health, 3 full reserve tanks, 100 missiles, 20 super missiles, and 20 power bombs, and the according maximum capacities. And then they are able to... Also, sort of all the movement items and beams, sorry. Grapple beam, or grappling beam, and X-ray scope as well. So basically all of the items they would reasonably want, excepting screw attack. And then it's just a boss rush from there. And Toastymuffins about to showcase the power of X-ray scope coupled with charged plasma here, setting up to microwave Batoon. If you've not seen this, the way this works is that plasma pierces certain enemies and bosses, Batoon being one of them, Dragon and Phantoon being 2 important other ones, where plasma can hit multiple times as long as the boss's hitbox still overlaps with the beam when the boss's iframes end. Using X-ray pauses the game and keeps the beam in the same place in space, but allows the timer on iframes to continue to run. And SuperNinTaylor going for the Ridley E-Tank, a nice health refill option. So Ridley down, and he is going to be on his way out of Lower Norfair. as Toastymuffins is just about to drag on. But yes, as Antinomy or Sephi is saying in the chat, go give these runners a follow if you're enjoying this race. They're newer Super Metroid runners that are showing a ton of progress at this game, and I'm looking forward to continuing to watch both of them improve for the last 2 rounds of this tournament and ongoing. But both have made massive strides, and they are a real treat to be watching, so I encourage anyone to go and give these guys a follow. And Toastymuffins nicely microwaving Dragon. So he only has Phantoon left until he can go down to Torian. He does need to kill Phantoon, though. It's very important. Phantoon's kind of easy to forget about, though, because he's out of the way over in the wreck ship. And so we'll have to see if Toastymuffins remembers to turn right when he gets to the top of Red Tower here. Toastymuffins with a really nice jump back into Botwoon's room, getting a very fast reverse traversal there. So far, a very nice Meridia exit from Toastymuffins. And SuperNinTaylor is screw attacking the crap out of the 3 Musketeers. Much easier in this category. And Toastymuffins with the hole-in-one there. Doing a little celebratory dance as he is making his way back into Mount Everest. And tickling the Sephi Ponkfish. Sephi Ponkfish, word is ticklish, but is not susceptible to the damage of tickles. I've not confirmed this. And SuperNinTaylor is going to be making his way now out of Norfair and up through Meridia, really following in the footsteps of Toastymuffins here. Probably about 5 minutes behind at this point. Toastymuffins with a 46.52 PB in GT Classic. Looking like he's gonna give his PB a run for its money here. And SuperNinTaylor getting a little stuck here in Main Street. Space jump underwater works differently and a little more awkwardly at times than it does in air. It's a sort of suppressed delay in how long you need to wait. I think it's only 3 frames instead of 30 or something like that for initiating another space jump, but it can make space jumping underwater just a little bit awkward. Toastymuffins is rightly remembering that Phantoon is over here. Has not skipped Phantoon. That's tech for other racers only. And SuperNinTaylor is about to make his way over to Botwoon. And so, needs to shoot out that wall in the way. And Toastymuffins setting up for a nice X-ray kill here on Phantoon. And getting it. Well done. So Phantoon working a little different from the other bosses that use the X-ray and plasma charge shot trick to kill. You need to shoot him with missiles first to lock his eye open, otherwise he's just going to close his eye on you. So it can be a little tricky, especially the first couple times, and Toastymuffins does a really nice job with it. SuperNinTaylor doing a good job with Batuun making his way over to Dragon, as Toastymuffins showcasing the power of Spring Ball here. Always good to see. And choosing to spark back across the ocean. Not optimal, but a very fast option. Since the runners do have all of their movement items and are really just geared up for this boss rush, Toastymuffins pretty much is finished at this point. The movement options are pretty much between fast and faster in this category, and that's part of the appeal of the category to me. I actually really enjoy this run. You get to utilize all of the cool sort of 100% all the gear movement strats, but it's a much shorter run. And SuperNinTaylor going for the microwave kill here on Dragon, starting in a crouching position. I didn't catch if Toastymuffins used that or not. I imagine he did. When Dragon dies, it forces Samus into a standing animation. And so that is what SuperNinTaylor is using as a visual cue for when to stop buffering X-ray pause. And getting speed echoes through that door on the way out of wrecked ship, and then just space jumping across is slightly faster because you don't have the crash animation of 32 frames. To answer a question from Jirshi in the chat. I apologize for the mispronunciation of your name. But that's what it is now. Jirshi, forever. And Toastymuffins into Torian, 3730 here. And so this is on pace to be, I believe, a PB. And Elminster saying the crash animation is more than 32 frames. I cannot confirm this, so I will defer to Elminster. Knows much more about the nuance of this game than I do. Either way, it is a long crash animation. There's probably at least 32 frames. And SuperNinTaylor just visiting the Sephi Ponk fish. Not playing with it, just kind of taking in the sight of the one red fish on the planet. No breeding partners left. We just need to enjoy it while we can. And Toastymuffins choosing to damage himself here on the side hopper rather than go for a baby skip. This is going to minimize the amount of time that he spends getting drained by baby, acknowledging that baby skip is not something he's interested in going for, but facing to the right to save exactly 40 frames of stand-up animation. And then, now that Baby has drained all of Toastymuffins' health, Toasty is going to have to take a health refill here, rather than go for the Crystal Flash refill. I think this is a good call. The Crystal Flash refill can go wrong in a number of different ways. Is definitely the safer option. And SuperNinTaylor on to his last of the four golden four bosses. On to Phantoon here. We'll see what sort of pattern he gets and if he can get the quick kill. Toastymuffins not choosing to take that Torian save. Setting up for his Zeb skip here. So he is all in on completing the game on this run. So we'll hope for a clean ending here for Toasty. And SuperNinTaylor with a very interesting setup for that that Phantoon attempt. Unfortunately, it didn't quite work. But it was interesting to see, going for that angle up shot and trying to use the X-ray there. It can be really awkward to get this. And then, unfortunately, getting Phantoon to close his eye. Toastymuffins is on to Mother Brain 2. After spending some time tickling the carcass of Mother Brain 1. Oh, and eating a ketchup right to the face. As SuperNinTaylor has finished up Phantoon, and that should do it for Toastymuffins. And making sure his health is above 300, but not above 400. This should minimize the length of this cutscene here. Taking extra damage so we get that nice health alert. And not choosing to go for stand-up, just relishing the fact that the game is almost successfully completed here. And SuperNinTaylor bonking the door, so gonna lose a little bit of speed there, or a lot of speed there, really. But getting some of it back and space jumping across. This a little slower than the Shine Spark, but he was going for what I believe, or I believe he was going for the faster strat there. Bugs Can't Hide, rightly pointing out that not going for stand-up if Toastymuffins is aware of his position relative to SuperNinTaylor right now. Stand-up has some risks. We've seen a couple runners, particularly in GT Classic, suffer the fate of messing up stand-up and having to reset to a previous save or reset the run entirely or forfeit. And there's very, very little risk to not going for stand-up. And a nice Mother Brain 3 kill there from Toastymuffins. Looking like he is setting himself up for sort of a low 45 range time, well, depending on how long he wants to spend X-raying the Mother Brain exit, or Mother Brain. We may see a low to mid 45, but that would be an improvement on his tournament PB of 46.52. So we'll see. Getting the 3-minute flat exit there. Nicely done. Getting a little jagated there by the pillars, but starting his escape very nicely. As SuperNinTaylor is opening up Torian, so we will possibly briefly see both runners in Torian. Depends how quickly... Okay, yeah, we will see both runners in Torian. Going for the Moonfall here and nailing it. Good Moonfall there from Toastymuffins. Both runners now in Torian. One of them is exploding, and Toastymuffins now back into Crateria, getting his climb spark. Is on his way out before the planet explodes. And so unless something goes truly bizarrely, we will, I believe, be seeing Toastymuffins move on to 1-3 in the tournament. Getting a little moonwalk swag there, celebrating with some Rainbow Beam. But he is in the ship, and his one has finished in first place with an official SRL time of 45 minutes and 35 seconds. Good game to Toastymuffins. Congratulations on the win. We will see him probably go on, I believe, and face Stump in the next round. Don't quote me on that, quote Sephi. But I think I did the pairings right. We'll see shortly on Challenge. And that will set up SuperNinTaylor to, unless something is truly bizarre, play against Gameaholic in round 5, and that should be, both of those should be really good matches. SuperNinTaylor and Gameaholic, I believe, are two remaining players who will be 0-5, or 0-4, sorry, 0-4, and also our two newest players in the tournament. And so if you want to see two players who really, put it out there and decided, I'm going to learn this game and just see how well I can do on a limited amount of time, that is going to be a matchup to watch next week. So yeah, SuperNinTaylor also choosing to damage himself down, not going for the baby skip. Let's see him finish strong here. Looking to the left, gonna lose 40 frames on that stand-up animation. But nothing we can do about that now. But while we have a little bit of a lull in the action, I will remind you guys again to, if you've enjoyed the race here and want to see more from these guys, go give them a follow. Yeah, they're both great. I can't say enough about how impressed I am by these guys. And also, if you want to see more races like this, follow Speed Gaming, of course. This is Speed Gaming.